The resonance of the inner serpent only awakens with the perfect synchronization of three vital systems. Your heart pumps blood out of sync with your irregular breathing, while cranial micro-oscillations operate at chaotic frequencies, and this discord keeps your Kundalini dormant. Itzhak Bentov cracked the code. There is a specific master frequency between 6.8 and 7.5 Hz that can bring all systems into resonant phase. The protocol was declassified in scientific documents, but no one translated the theory into verifiable bodily practice. You are about to learn exactly how to generate this synchronization through precise postural adjustments, calculated breathing cadence, and vocal activation in low frequencies. Most importantly, you will receive unmistakable somatic markers confirming the activation has occurred: subtle rising heat, organized microtremors, and a slight shift in your own vocal tone. No imagination, no forced effort, just measurable physiological coherence. The inner serpent responds to tuning, not fantasy. When your three vital systems finally align, your body becomes a finely tuned instrument of creative presence. Bentov revealed something no ancestral tradition was able to explain: how to consciously produce the synchronization that activates the inner serpent. The secret lies in the ability to bring three seemingly independent systems into resonant phase through specific physical techniques. Your heart generates pressure waves that travel through the carotid arteries to the cranial base. Your diaphragm, moving in a steady rhythm, modulates intrathoracic pressure, influencing cardiac ejection volume. Your cerebrospinal micro-oscillations respond to these variations by creating subtle waves along the spinal cord. When these three systems converge perfectly, a state of physiological tuning is established that awakens the Kundalini in a measurable way. You will master the practical sequence: postural adjustments that optimize the propagation of waves along the central axis, breathing in calculated cycles to synchronize with heartbeats, and vocal activation in low frequencies that amplify body-wide resonance. The transformation will be verifiable through unmistakable somatic markers: subtle rising heat, organized microtremors in the paraspinal muscles, effortless attentive stillness, and a shift in vocal tone. These signs distinguish true activation from self-suggestion. The protocol includes regulatory exits based on polyvagal theory to prevent overloads in the nervous system. The result: autonomy grounded in objective bodily criteria, replacing mystical uncertainty with reliable sensory metrics. Tantric texts describe the Sushumna Nadi as the central channel where vital energy spirals upward, but they kept secret how to consciously awaken this flow. Hermetic schools deciphered the sacred triad, three inner fires that must come into harmony to release the dormant power within the human axis. The fire of the heart pulses in specific rhythms, the fire of breath sets the cadence of life, and the cranial fire oscillates at subtle frequencies. And when these three elements converge, the serpent awakens. Ancient mystery schools taught that physiological harmony comes before any true spiritual awakening. There are no shortcuts. The body must become a perfectly tuned instrument before consciousness can expand. Medieval alchemists encoded this process as solve et coagula, dissolved the inner chaos to recreate a higher order. They understood that transmutation begins in the physical body before it reaches the subtle planes. Tibetan traditions refer to the phenomenon as inner wind, having observed rhythmic vibrations in the musculature during states of high coherence. Zen masters recognize the shift in vocal tone as a clear sign of inner realization. What these traditions describe symbolically: the inner serpent, the three fires. The subtle wind corresponds exactly to what Bentov mapped out physiologically: cerebrospinal waves synchronized with cardiorespiratory rhythms. Ancient language preserved the knowledge until modern science provided the tools to fully decode it. Sushumna Nadi is the cerebrospinal axis. The three fires are the cardiovascular, respiratory, and cranial systems. The inner serpent is measurable resonance. Bentoff documented how each heartbeat sends pressure waves through the carotid arteries until they reach the base of the skull, where they meet vascular resistance that creates rhythmic oscillations in the cerebrospinal fluid. His precise measurements revealed that these micro-oscillations travel throughout the entire spinal canal at specific frequencies, creating measurable mechanical waves that rise and fall along the spine. The biomedical engineer linked these findings with altered states of consciousness, demonstrating a direct correlation between the synchronization of these rhythms and experiences of perceptual expansion. Bentoff proved that when breathing follows calculated cadences, intrathoracic pressure is automatically modified, which alters cardiac ejection volume and, in turn, the amplitude of the cerebrospinal waves. Stephen Porges added to this discovery by mapping how cardiorespiratory coherence activates specific neural pathways in the parasympathetic system, generating states of calm, alertness, and internal receptivity. The HeartMath Institute validated Bentoff's findings by confirming that synchronization between heart and breath produces measurable coherence throughout the entire organism, reorganizing activity in the prefrontal cortex. Polyvagal theory explains why this physiological harmony generates sensations of rising heat, mental stillness, and changes in vocal tone. The vagus nerve communicates safety to all internal systems when it detects coherence among vital rhythms. The muscular microtremors observed during deep meditation correspond precisely to the fluidic oscillations documented by Bentoff. Modern science confirms the model. When the three systems enter resonant phase, the body becomes an optimized conductor of subtle frequencies. Postural preparation forms the foundation of the entire protocol. Without correct alignment of the central axis, resonance waves encounter blockages that prevent free propagation. Your body must become an unobstructed channel from the sacral region to the crown of the head. A neutral pelvis sets the foundation. Tilt the hips slightly forward, activating the deep pelvic floor muscles that anchor vital energy at the base of the spine. Feel invisible roots grounding you firmly as your torso naturally aligns above. A gently lifted sternum creates thoracic expansion that optimizes cerebrospinal fluid circulation. Do not push your chest out, but allow an organic opening, like a breath that naturally expands the ribs. A balanced skull resting on the atlas, the first cervical vertebra, eliminates compressions that block micro-oscillations in the cranial channel. Imagine a delicate thread attached to the crown of your head, gently pulling upward and elongating your entire spine without creating muscular tension. A fully relaxed tongue resting on the floor of the mouth unlocks the energetic channel between throat and heart. Release all oral tension, allowing the tongue to rest naturally behind the lower teeth. A relaxed jaw frees accumulated pressure in the cervical region that interferes with ascending neural flow. Shoulders drawn away from the ears create space for deep breathing and unrestricted circulation. Arms rest by your sides, palms facing upward in total receptivity. This posture is not a static position. It is a living structure that dynamically responds to the internal waves beginning to awaken. Each adjustment removes a specific blockage. The pelvis anchors, the sternum expands, the skull balances, the tongue connects vital centers. Feel how this alignment already shifts your internal perception. Deeper breathing, clearer heartbeats, a mind that quiets itself spontaneously. The channel is now prepared for respiratory synchronization. This synchronization happens through a calculated cadence that generates the master frequency capable of awakening the inner serpent. The practical application of Bentoff's model requires a specific sequence that brings your three vital systems into perfect harmony. The rhythm follows a precise ratio: 8 seconds for inhalation, 2 for retention, and 8 for exhalation. Inhale over 8 seconds, feeling the air completely fill your lungs and push the diaphragm downward. Hold your breath for 2 seconds, allowing the oxygen to distribute through your tissues, while your heart adjusts to the influx of air. Exhale slowly over 8 seconds, gently contracting the diaphragm and letting the air flow out in a controlled way. This 8-8 cadence automatically synchronizes your heart rate with the pulmonary cycle, creating measurable coherence between these two vital systems. During inhalation, the heart slightly speeds up to process the higher oxygen volume. During exhalation, it naturally slows down, activating the parasympathetic system. This rhythmic variability generates blood pressure waves that travel through the carotid arteries to the base of the skull, where they meet vascular resistance that produces the cerebrospinal micro-oscillations documented by Bentoff. Maintain this cadence for 5 minutes, noticing how each cycle deepens internal synchronization. The heart will begin to beat in harmony with the rhythm of your breath, creating a sense of unification between systems that normally operate independently. Do not force the pattern. Let it establish itself naturally, like a musical instrument gradually finding its perfect tuning. Observe how this harmony already produces subtle bodily signals: warmth around the heart, expansion in the chest, and growing stillness in the mind. The first two vital systems are entering into coherence, establishing a stable base for the vocal activation that will complete the protocol. The vocal phase amplifies all the resonance previously established, using deep low-register sounds that create vibrations spreading throughout the entire central axis. Sustain the sound AAA in a deep tone, feeling the vibration begin in the chest and naturally rise along the spine. Hold each sound for 8 seconds, following the same rhythm as before. The vocal frequency enhances the cerebrospinal micro-oscillations already in motion. Alternate with the sound OM in an even deeper register, allowing the vibration to move from the abdomen all the way to the crown of the head. These vocal emissions act as natural amplifiers of coherence between the heart, lungs, and cerebrospinal fluid. After 5 minutes of vocal activation, begin the somatic verification test. For 2 minutes, observe your body in complete silence, identifying for unmistakable markers of authentic activation. First, subtle rising heat along the spine, distinct from general body warmth. Second, organized microtremors in the paraspinal muscles, especially around the cervical region. Third, spontaneous attentive stillness, a present focus without mental effort. Fourth, a subtle change in the tone of your voice when you speak, again deeper and more stable. These signals confirm that the master frequency has settled and the three vital elements are now operating in resonant phase. The inner serpent awakens through measurable physiological synchronization, not through imagination. When all 4 markers are present, you will have reached the state of full coherence that Bentoff identified as Kundalini activation. Your voice now carries new stability, your posture reorganizes naturally, and bodily anxiety dissolves into serene presence. Thorne had lost confidence in his own voice. After years of corporate presentations that left his throat tense and his chest tight, every time he had to speak in public, it felt like something was blocked in the center of his body, preventing the words from flowing naturally. During a medical conference on applied neuroscience, He heard for the first time about Bentoff's protocol for Kundalini activation and decided to try it, more out of desperation than conviction. In the first week of postural practice and respiratory synchronization, he noticed only subtle changes, deeper breathing, less tension in his neck. But in the second week, after incorporating vocal activation, something extraordinary happened. During an important meeting, as he began his presentation, he realized his voice had completely changed, deeper, more stable, carrying a natural authority he had never experienced. The micro-tremor he always felt in his shoulders before speaking had vanished. His colleagues remarked on the remarkable shift in his presence. Thorne understood that he had not just improved his vocal technique, he had unlocked the inner serpent through real physiological synchronization. Cardiorespiratory coherence had created a solid foundation upon which his voice could rest effortlessly. Months later, he became known for talks that held entire audiences in magnetic silence. The Kundalini had awakened through Bentoff's protocol, transforming not just his voice, but his entire presence in the world. What had once been bodily anxiety had become a finely tuned instrument of authentic communication, confirming that the inner serpent responds to coherence, not imagination. Thorne's transformation reveals the very obstacle that sabotages most attempts at activation: confusing effort with coherence. Many people force their breath, tense unnecessary muscles, and push vocal sounds with strain, believing that intensity equals effectiveness. Kundalini responds to the opposite: subtlety, precision, and natural fluidity. Another common blockage is the fear of intense side effects, traumatic memories, resurfacing, or overwhelming bodily sensations. This fear causes many to interrupt the process at the first signs of activation. The solution lies in applying polyvagal theory as a natural safety system. Stephen Porges mapped out tolerance windows, physiological zones where your nervous system can process experiences without overload. Whenever any discomfort arises during the protocol, immediately return to natural breathing. Gently move your neck from side to side, and feel your feet firmly grounded on the floor. This sequence activates the parasympathetic system, signaling safety to the entire organism. The practice must always stay within comfortable limits. Start with 5-minute sessions, gradually increasing as your body adapts. The inner serpent awakens organically when it finds a safe and welcoming environment. Pressure and haste block the process. Trust your body's wisdom. It knows exactly the right rhythm for transformation to happen in a sustainable and integrated way. Kundalini was never some mystical energy floating in ethereal dimensions. It has always been measurable. Synchronization between the vital systems you carry within. Bentoff uncovered what ancient traditions only intuited. Your body is an instrument of conscious resonance, capable of precise tuning when heart, breath, and cerebrospinal fluid operate in perfect harmony. Every somatic marker you experience, rising heat along the spine, organized microtremor, effortless attentional stillness, deeper vocal tone is concrete evidence that the inner serpent responds to coherence, never to effort. This discovery completely redefines your relationship with spiritual awakening. There is no longer a need for external gurus, secret techniques, or complex rituals. The metric lives in your own body, in the tone of your voice, in the stability of your posture, in the serene presence that replaces chronic anxiety. Itzhak Bentoff understood a fundamental truth. The human body is a biological system capable of producing states of consciousness that transcend its basic programming, as long as it operates within specific frequencies of internal coherence. You have discovered that the inner serpent was never truly dormant. It was simply waiting for the correct key to awaken. That key has always been in your hands, the ability to consciously synchronize the rhythms that govern your physical existence. When your three vital systems finally align, something extraordinary emerges, not as a supernatural experience, but as the natural expression of an organism functioning at its highest capacity for integration. Creative presence is not a mystical gift reserved for a chosen few. It is the biological birthright of every human being willing to tune their physical instrument with the precision life deserves. If this video resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That helps us expand this field of knowledge even further for those seeking authentic, full-spectrum activation. I want to know how you experience the synchronization of your three vital systems. Write in the comments, "I activate my master frequency and awaken the inner serpent." That statement seals your practice within the protocol of bodily coherence. Share this video with someone you know needs to discover the power of physiological synchronization to awaken their Kundalini through real somatic markers. Don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformative video from the channel. Each mastered protocol brings you closer to the creative presence you were born to embody. Remember, when the body operates at its master frequency, Kundalini activation is no longer a mystery. It becomes a finely tuned instrument of integral consciousness.